You'd be surprised how many accomplished and very competent professionals freeze up when it's time for them to share an update or to even highlight some of the work that their team is doing. You'd be surprised. I'm not surprised because I see it often. But the reason why this happens is because they are likely an overthinker. If you're joining for the first time, my name is Lanita Hostin, and I get the privilege of turning high visibility professionals and organizational leaders. I turn them into skilled communicators who are both competent and confident when it comes to public speaking. And I get excited to do that work. It's been a while since I've been live, and I've been challenged by a friend of mine to do a new concept, and that is to address a common topic and to do it in 5 minutes. So I'm going to attempt, I'm going to add a countdown on the screen, and I'm going to give you not only the reason why, but a method to address this challenge if you identify with being accomplished and smart, like you know your stuff, that kind of person. If that is you, and give you one way to address it. All right, so you ready? Type ready in the comments if you're watching live. Also type where you're watching from if you're watching live or you happen to catch the replay. Now, I'm going to tell you why I'm doing this in 5 minutes, because brevity and being succinct, brevity is just getting your words that are clear and doing it in a short amount of time. That is a super skill that leaders must have. So I'm going to demonstrate the art of being brief by challenging myself to get these episodes, my response to them in 5 minutes. So right now we're at the almost a 2-minute mark. So 3, 2, 1. Okay. Here's the reason why I feel smart leaders struggle with public speaking. I mentioned this to you that they are overthinkers. Now, I want to break that down a little bit. The prioritization has been on information and not relationship. Or if you want to put it another way, the prioritization is on delivering the content, but not necessarily making the connection. And Maya Angelou said it best. We remember not people, not by what they did, but how they made us feel. It's the same thing when you're doing an information exchange. So if you are very task oriented, you're called upon to do major large projects. You do project management well. You take on initiatives well, and you struggle with public speaking. Here are 2 things I want you to consider. When it's time to deliver your remarks, I want you to put yourself in the feet, or the shoes, not the feet, in the shoes of those who you're talking to. The state of their well-being, the start of their day, what's happening in their world, and start from there. If it's virtual, if they're hybrid, if they're furloughed, but a meeting still has to continue. Before you give the information, make your connection point. That can be a joke. That could be a meme. That could be a poem. That could be a short story that you encounter in your family in that day. See, people are afraid, and this is the second thing, people are afraid of being human because I think perfectionism has made it hard to be ourselves. And so I want you to unlearn that if this is the area that you struggle with. And I want you to learn basically humanizing that you are a whole person with the information. So you should come first and then the information. That's the first thing. The second thing is we get hung up on pauses like just now, losing our train of thought, not having all the details ready to present. That can sometimes, what's the word I'm looking for, when it removes like your sense of confidence and puts you in like a freeze mode. And that's okay. It happens to VPs, it happens to directors, it happens to newscasters and those who are in a form of journalism. It happens to radio hosts. It's what you do to recover from those things that count. And so don't get hung up on the fact that it didn't land or deliver well. Fix it. I just did that in this 5-minute segment. Fix it so that you can leave with clarity versus rumbling over your words and feeling awful that you didn't get it right and perfect. The goal is not perfection. The goal is a knowledge transfer that is clear and that connects with those who you're leading. We want to make prioritization of people the goal. Last thing, don't try to impress. Aim for being impactful. Aim for touching the heart of somebody. Aim for challenging maybe their current thought process or their current expectations. Aim for that. This is not a performance. Sometimes, if you are what we call high capacity or high visibility, performance is like a part of your role in a sense. Unlearn that. Unlearn performance. Make connection your goal. In this new book that I'm writing, and that is a shameless plug, is going to launch in spring, and I'm not going to reveal the title, but the concepts that we're talking about are not public speaking skills. Public speaking skills are the avenue that we use to create influence through our teams. It's just an avenue. But the art of using that avenue has a lot to do with how you are connecting and the words that you're using. So why, as I wrap this up, 5 minutes, and I did so good, 5 minutes, why smart people struggle with public speaking? The prioritization is misaligned. Instead of focusing on the content that you have to deliver, make connecting with the people priority and then deliver the content. And, some of the best people who do this are entertainers at a concert, radio hosts. Listen to how they grab you in before they give you something. Sometimes it's with visual elements. Sometimes it's artistic. Sometimes it's sound, mood. And doctors do it too before they start your exam. Pull from other industries, and that will be your inspiration. And that is my 5-minute communication tip of the day. And I'm under time with 11 seconds to spare. Listen, brevity is a skill. I'm going to be helping you to demonstrate that while addressing some of the common challenges that I hear professionals share. If you are watching today and you are a professional, you identify as being smart, task-oriented, high visibility, and maybe you want to grow the confidence of your public speaking skills. Maybe you have the confidence, but your competence in speaking impromptu and or formally, that wants or needs to grow. I'd love to coach you. I would love to coach you. I finished that 5-minute block. I want to share with you really quickly a client success story. When I first started coaching, my clients were mainly Black men. One of my clients that I'm super proud of came, and he was what we call a vomiter, meaning his sentences did not have a period. So while he was sharing the information, it was good, and you might have felt moved or impacted, and it was helpful. It was too much to process. So you could be so smart that the words are leaving at a speed faster than a person could comprehend. And my friend, that's not communication. Communication is the process of transferring information through words. So if the transfer doesn't land, we're not effective. So anyway, one of the things we had to work on was him changing his perspective about sharing. When we communicate, we have to share from the perspective of the listener. So that means our anxiousness, our insecurities, our lack of preparation, that in the back of our head has to cease. And what has to increase is their perception, their state, their lack of knowledge, their need for understanding. And so what we worked with him on was slowing down, adding periods when he speaks. He did a podcast interview. He sent it to me last night. I have to text him. And he blew it out the park. I was so proud. And this is a skill set that he gets to practice in other relationships too. Because you could be a vomiter in your marriage. You could be a vomiter on your team. You're just dumping information at a speed. People can't even keep up with you. And you know you are a vomiter when people have to say either slow down or they're repeatedly asking you, what did you say? Or could you say that again? When a person lacks clarity about something you've communicated, that is your first yellow flag to either slow down, your words are not clear, or your delivery is not effective. All right, that's it. I'm done. I love you. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Let me know what you think about this concept of teaching in 5-minute segments on common topics. And if you have something you'd like me to share, drop it in the comments. And I'll see you next time. Bye now.